They said it couldn't be done. They said it wouldn't last. White man, black man. America F1. America F1 coming to you straight from San Francisco, California. Sherman Tillman, Michael Lawler. America F1.
Guten Tag.
What?
Guten Tag.
Gunda.
I don't know. Guten Tag. Is that German?
But that
Does
was
that
the
mean
Brazilian
hello?
Grand Prix. You have to speak in Portuguese.
I don't know how to speak in Portuguese.
Well, then we're not going to do that.
When I try, do you know? What do you know in Portuguese?
Nothing.
Neither do I. I don't know one
I know
word.
a little Spanish, but I love when people go to Brazil and they come back and like, I was down there. They speak Spanish in Brazil. I'm like, no, sweetie.
No, they don't speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese. Just like Portugal, right?
I think so. I think they speak.
Zacky's in Portugal.
They're home.
How they like their
long
trip?
airport. Oh, they said it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, they sent me so many pictures of food.
Is the food really good there?
Of course. The wine's good. He said we drank every day.
Oh man!
So, vacation.
17th win in one season for Max Verstappen at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Is there 2 or 3 races left?
2 races left: Las Vegas and
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, which they're talking about they might cancel
Why?
because of all the stuff that's going on with Israel.
They're not going to cancel. Because
That's what they said. They might cancel.
Whatever. Then Max won't.
Then Max won't get a chance to win 19.
19 races.
He can only win 18.
Only.
I mean, he's now, instead of 20 seconds ahead, he's 8 seconds ahead. But
No, he's
he's really probably
Did you
15
see
still
him in
seconds.
the
He was
car-
just cruising around.
in the car. He was
Yeah.
like not even driving. He's just like, I swear to God, he could have been sitting there drinking a cup of coffee.
They have the great memes with him drinking coffee, they, like him doing his laundry. He's looking over at the cars and he's making pancakes. He's doing everything but driving the car. Basically saying that there's no competition. Max is going to win every race unless that car has some type
Unless
of issue.
a brick falls from outer space or the thing catches on fire, which it has yet to do this year.
Unbelievable reliability.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
I'm still surprised that Red Bull didn't figure out a way to get out of the Ford deal and go with Honda, but it's too late now.
Yeah. Why would you switch what's working? I don't get that.
Well, it doesn't matter what's working now when they go to the new engine regulations. Whoever comes up with a better mousetrap, like what happened in 2014,
yeah.
with Mercedes, where they were
Mercedes
just like
is
50-50.
supposedly ahead right now. They
Of
had
what?
They had some news flash where Mercedes is ahead in the 2026 engine race.
Well, they're probably already building the engines now.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
but I don't know how much money they're allowed to spend on the engine. See, this whole price cap thing, I think it's all nonsense because how are they going to know how much money you spent?
Because you give them an accounting.
Well, you can't lie. I mean,
Of course you can lie. I don't know.
it's really it's not an enforceable rule unless they catch you, like what they caught Red Bull last year. And
Right.
They did nothing to Red Bull.
Nothing.
They took wind tunnel stuff away, and then their car is the best car by a lot.
So, 17 wins. I wonder what that feels like to know every time you go out, unless the car fails or someone crashes into you, you're going to win.
Yeah, but none of these races have been races. He's just way ahead of everybody, just putting around.
Well, I think Norris gave him maybe a second or two where Norris was actually right behind him trying to pass him, and then he's probably just looking at his mirrors going, is he
Oh no! He
kidding
did,
me?
what he did is he
Is he kidding
he
me?
did this on the steering wheel. Boop! Give me more horsepower, and just drove away from
Yeah.
him.
The best part of this Grand Prix was the battle between Alonso and Perez. For
And
the
I'm going to
last
say,
2 laps.
driver of the day. Both of them get driver of the day because they battled for all those laps and never touched each other.
Never touched each other. It kind of reminded me of Rosberg and Hamilton and Bahrain in 2014, where Rosberg passes Hamilton up, and then Hamilton gets a good slipstream, and then he passes him back up, and then Russell comes back at him. Rosberg comes back at him because Russell couldn't have that type of racecraft with Hamilton. Only Rosberg.
Oh my
could.
God.
So, and then Hamilton comes back, and then he goes, and then he's gone. It kind of reminded me of that, but the difference here is it came down to thousands of a second. I think 53 thousandths of a second at the end.
He was like this far ahead of him at the end.
It was great. I almost thought, I was like, oh, he's going to get him at the end and just...
Well, when Perez passed him, I thought Perez was going to pull away, and he didn't.
He didn't.
So, but yeah, that just shows you how great of a race car driver Fernando Alonso is, because he had 2 battles 2 years in a row with Michael Schumacher at Imola. I think it was 2004 and 2005. Mm-hmm. And 1 year Michael was ahead of him, but Alonso was faster, but he could never get past him. Then the next year, Alonso was ahead of Michael, but Michael couldn't get past him. And it was like it just showed you how good of racecraft they have to be able to slow the car down just enough so the guy behind you can't get the advantage he's needing.
Right.
And he was backing Michael up that 1 year at Imola. It was just such a brilliant drive. And the one he did yesterday, I mean, he's 40-something years old, and he's totally still has it.
Not only does he still have it, but he seems so genuinely happy finally getting it back on the podium. I mean, because remember last week, we're talking about what the hell happened to Aston Martin? Have you ever seen a bigger drop? And basically, they were just testing things out. Nothing ever worked. And they finally figured it out, at least for this track.
Well, no, what they did is they went back to they took all the bits off that they brought that didn't work, and just went back to the old setup, and bam,
boom.
So,
Slamazel.
The rumor going around is their computer or something that they're using didn't work. Their simulation,
the software simulation,
the simulation. They came with all these new updates, and every time they came with an update, the car goes slower and
the simulation was telling them, "Oh, this is going to work. It's going to work. You're going to get 1/10 or 2/10 out of this."
The Aston Martin team has their new factory is finished now, and they just moved in, and the next year's car will actually be built.
It's in Silverstone. So I'll get to visit it next year.
You can go right. There's a tour. You can go see the thing.
I'm going to do that.
Look, if you go on YouTube, look up, and it'll show you them building the factory.
Yeah.
There was like 20 different videos, and it was like from foundation to the finished product, and it's like amazing. They spent like $400 or $500 million on this place.
Is there anybody in Formula One right now with worse luck than Charles Leclerc?
Oh, he drives for Ferrari. The curse of Schumacher continues.
I mean,
the hydraulics went off in his car.
Guy's on the formation lap.
How could you screw that up?
He's on the formation lap, and then he just
no. He lost. Boom. He lost the hydraulics.
Yeah.
So the hydraulics controls everything.
There's nothing he could do. He was steering this way to the right, and the next thing the car went to the left, and he's like, "Oh, fuck." He's like, "My God. Can I have any luck around here? Am I the unluckiest guy in Formula One?" Yes, he is.
He's got to get off that team. He's stuck there till 2026, I think.
He's not going to go anywhere because he's the man there. Everyone loves him. He's always wanted to drive for the red
Ferrari,
car.
Though. That's the
unless he can get a seat at Mercedes when Hamilton retires, or he's not going to go.
Well,
we don't even
know. We don't even know if Mercedes is ever going to come back from. They might never be a good team again.
They might not.
They have to come up with their next. I don't know how much money they're going to. I know they're spending. I know the new car is probably already done for next year, because you see this car and they're just putting stuff on it just to test out the parts.
What a tractor the Mercedes was around this track. I mean, Hamilton got all the way up to third, and I was like, oh, okay.
And he wore the tires off the car.
Then, it wasn't just the tires. I mean, he just started dropping like a brick, fourth, and then fifth. I know he was bummed out when an Alpine passed him. When he got passed by Alpine, I know he was like, oh, dude. He just started laughing.
God, I hope the Alpine team goes back to being a Renault team next year.
It'd be better. Yeah. Like the bumblebee color.
No, I'm sick of seeing that car. I don't like that team. I think they're still underfunded. I don't think they're even anywhere close to the cap, and they don't have they keep firing. They did it again this year. They fired like the two big Alan Permain. I can't believe they got rid of Alan Permain. He's been on that team for 30-something years.
You don't want me to talk about Russell. That's why you just went on to Alpine, didn't you?
Why? What's wrong
Because
with Russell?
so Mercedes was a tractor, and there was a time at one point of the
What
race.
do you mean a tractor?
Tractor. It was very slow.
A dump truck, basically.
Yeah, down the straights, it was the slowest car on the grid, even slower than the
Then that means they put too much wing on the car,
Alfa, even slower than the Alfa Romeo,
which is the worst car.
which is the worst car on the grid. And
I don't know why that car is so bad, but they haven't been bringing anything to that car.
I don't know. Maybe they
And
can't.
Audi just they have a new president for Audi, and they bought the Alfa Romeo team, and the dude's talking about they might not even go to Formula One.
Might scrap the whole thing.
Just scrap the whole fucking thing.
That way, Andretti will get in.
No, Andretti's going to get in anyways. He's already been. They've already approved him to have his team come out. I don't know if they're going to be 25 or 26, but they've been building their factory in Indiana for the Formula One team. They broke ground on that a year ago. He was always he's going to Formula One for sure.
You are trying to sidetrack me
About Russell.
from talking about this whiny, winging little biatch.
Well, they wouldn't let him pass.
He wouldn't let him
Hamilton.
pass Hamilton. He kept going, are we playing the team role here? Or are we doing our own race? Yes, George, it's your own race. You are in a race car. If you can pass him, pass him. But we all know you can't. And he's managing his tires. What do you want him to do? He's keeping you in DRS so you can stay
and
ahead.
then they fucked up and didn't. They didn't keep him in the DRS, and people just started passing him because
And they passed them both.
They weren't working together.
Well, no matter what happened, their car just didn't work for the track for whatever reason.
Well, they won that race last year, but
Yeah.
that was because the Red Bull team showed up and their car setup didn't work. So
You know, here it is. When Hamilton has good pit stops, the car's the shits. This was the first race where Hamilton had he had two under 3 second pit stops, like perfect, like 2.5, 2.8. And I was like, oh man,
no,
he might actually do something today.
Those aren't good pit stops. A good pit stop is 2.
Well, the record's like 1.8, so a
Yeah.
good pit stop's like 2.3, 2.4.
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way.
Like as an average.
But you want that pit stop to be around 2 seconds.
Yeah, but that rarely happens. That rarely happens. Most pit stops, even Red Bull's 2.2, 2.3, and it's always Perez who gets the best pit stops. You know.
So what's your problem with Russell?
He's whiny little bitch.
Well, yeah, but he's the
Whine.
That's his-
Wah.
That's his
We're playing the
literal
team game.
job is to be a whiny little
I
bitch.
always find out when he's behind Hamilton, he always wants to play the team game. When he's ahead, then he's like, why are you letting him do this? Why are you letting him? He just wants to stay ahead. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about anybody else on the grid. All he cares about is beating Lewis Hamilton. And George, you got your ass kicked this year. Kicked. Stop whining. You're not as good as a 7-time world champion. We all thought you would be a good addition to the team. But I say, bring back Valtteri. That's right.
They're not bringing back.
Bring him
Bottas.
back, man.
Okay,
All right.
Aston Martin.
Great comeback by Aston Martin. It went from, fighting for 8th and 9th place.
In Mexico, it was just their car was a dump truck that day.
And
You're
then
right.
all of a sudden,
Back to business.
back to business. And even Lance Stroll finished in 5th, which was quite
That's
amazing.
right. He passed Hamilton at one point.
He passed a lot of people.
Yeah, it was like he still sucks.
Yeah.
If his daddy didn't own that team,
Yeah,
he
he'd
would
be
not be in that car.
I think this was his best finish. He's never been on the podium.
Yeah, he has.
This year?
No, I don't know about this year, but
No, I'm talking about this year. I don't think it's only been Alonso on the podium.
It's only been Alonso, but he's
Yeah,
finished
he hasn't
fourth
been on the
before,
podium.
right?
Yeah, but he hasn't been on the podium yet.
All right, but he's in a car that's competing for podiums. So,
Right off the first turn,
but he's going up against Alonso. So Alonso. We know what Alonso is. He's the GOAT. He always waxes his teammates, except that one year.
except for Hamilton. Yeah. But
no one knew Hamilton was going to be that good, though. That's the problem.
yeah, and
'Cause when they hired him, I'm sure they told Fernando that they're going to put Lewis in the car that year, and he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's fine."
Yeah, okay, yeah. Who are you gonna put? You mean the guy who won GP2? Yeah, I'm not worried about him.
Wow, that was a fun season.
It was.
Oh, it was a delicious.
That's one of the best seasons to watch. Just
just
the drama.
You didn't know what was going to happen that time when they were doing their they came in for their new tires for the quali, and Fernando just sat there for 10 seconds.
What are you doing?
I knew what he was doing, but I was like sitting there going, "Oh, that's going to cause problems."
Well, the funny thing is when they asked him about it, he goes, "Well, sometimes you go out when they pull it up, and sometimes they release you, and sometimes they don't. I don't know."
He never really answered the question.
Yeah, he never. It's like I don't know if they didn't release me, or if the temperatures were wrong, or I don't recall what they were doing. But that's racing.
That was a fun.
Sometimes.
I know I saw a documentary on that recently, and Mercedes-Benz, the reason why Mercedes isn't on the McLaren team anymore is because of Fernando Alonso. They wanted him out of the car that year. They wanted to fire him bad. They wanted him fired, and Ron Dennis wouldn't fire him. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, Mercedes was like, we're getting out of this deal one way or another.
One way or another. Fernando has to go. Lando Norris, Mr. Second Place all year. I mean, the guy, ever since Austria, that car, obviously the second fastest car on the grid.
Tires.
Obviously.
That's why at first I thought it was why Aston Martin, why they were having such a bad time. It's not necessarily the tires. Mm-hmm. It's they keep bringing stuff to the car that didn't work. And now they reverted back to everything and bam, right back on the podium. So, and that was Fernando Alonso's 135th podium or something like that.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing. And Lewis has 200 and something.
Yeah, but Lewis was unfortunately for Fernando, he was never, after he was on the Renault team, he was never in a championship car.
That's his own fault, though.
Well, no, but he was a Ferrari for 4 years, and they just gave him one dump truck after another.
He had the chance in 2012 to win.
But that wasn't his fault.
That was his chance.
But that wasn't his. It wasn't.
Of course
his fault.
not.
He got torpedoed by Romain Grosjean at Spa, and then somebody else hit him in Japan and ran his tire off the car. Remember?
Yeah.
So,
but that was his one chance.
Yeah,
he probably would have stayed.
But he's never Lewis has been in a championship car every freaking year except for the last two.
Yeah, and then the 2010 and 2011 McLaren was dog shit.
No, they should have won the championship in
2012. They should have won, but 2010 and 2011,
they had the same problem that Aston Martin's had this year. Is they brought stuff to the car that didn't work, and it took them. By the time they got it corrected.
No, that was the year they couldn't do a pit stop in under fucking 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was the
year
that had a problem.
Super unreliable. That was the year where the whole team, other than Lewis's driving, was in a shambles, and that's what made him say, "I got to get out of here."
Oh, that, and Ross Brawn showed him how much money Mercedes were spending on that because they knew the engine was going to be where the money's at, and they started building the engine for the 2014 season in 2010. So the first 3 years that Mercedes were a factor of a works team, they've spent all their money on the new engine for 2014, knowing that their twin turbo design was going to be better than everybody else. So.
First turn of the race.
Yeah.
Albon and Magnussen are out.
What?
They DNF'd first turn of the race.
Albon and
Magnussen.
Yeah.
Then the tire, which was pretty cool. Well, not actually cool, but it was dramatic. The tire flies off, and it hits. I think it hit Piastri's car, and it also hit Piastri's wing and hit part of Ricciardo's car, and that kind of compromised their race right off the bat. They both were. Yeah, I think way in the back.
Lando got a great start.
Awesome start. He was sixth, and he just zapped up to second. Like you on the phone again. I mean, can you ever do anything like with that phone?
Huh? My phone does make a lot of noise. Hold on, I'm putting it on mute.
Like, he never does it. Why doesn't he do it before the show, right? Right, audience, right? That's right. That's right.
Leave your comments.
He deserves it.
Leave your comments about my phone noise in the whatever that is right there. Sherman will put something.
It would be
there.
good if you had a ringtone that was decent, but you just have that. It's just stupid. It's lame.
It's the factory setting. I haven't changed it.
So all the DNFs were, Leclerc, obviously, he went out before the race even started. Then you had Albon and Magnussen go out on the first turn, which was strange because Albon...
They didn't even make it to the first turn.
No, because Albon was going... He was not right near the wall. He had a perfect... There was nobody in front of him. And then here comes Magnussen, and then he just runs kind of like right into him, and then away they both go.
That's it.
And then Zhao and Bottas and Russell... Bottas. They both had overheating issues with their engine. Really? Yeah. It was just too hot for their engines to... I think they retired George, but I think it was just the embarrassment of, man, this dude's going to slip all the way down from 4th all the way down to like 12th. So they're like, everyone and their moms passing him up. Let's just retire the car. What do you think? You think they did it because they were embarrassed, or they did it because the engine really was overheating and it was about to have
imminent retire a car unless
imminent failure.
You only retire the car if you have to. No one retires a car that is still working.
Well, they said it was imminent engine failure.
Well, then you got to park the car.
In 10th place, so Esteban Ocon.
How many people did he hit?
He didn't hit anybody this race.
That's like weird.
He did hit some. He hit Fernando in the what was it? The sprint race. He hit him, or was it the shootout?
I don't know.
He hit him though, and then he tried to blame Fernando. And I have it. We'll put it right here. He's coming down the turn and he just clips him. But Fernando did slow down, but he just ran right into him. But anyway, he finished in 10th place.
Okay, he gets a point.
Yuki,
your boy,
Tsunoda, 9th place. Had a good drive, except he went off. He was cruising in like 8th place, and then he kind of made a mistake, got some grass on his tires, had to re-enter the track, and then he was 10th, and then he made a good drive to get back to 9th. He had great pace. Great pace.
Yeah, he did better than Ricciardo did.
Yeah, 8th place, Lewis Hamilton, who for most of the race was 3rd, and then just dropped like a plank.
Where did Russell end up at?
Russell DNF'd. We just talked about it a second ago. I just said he had imminent.
You said Bottas and Jean.
See, you don't listen. See,
I was listening.
So let me go over this again. We are doing a show together.
I'm getting chastised.
Okay, we do a show together.
Okay,
and then one of us watches the show, and one of us actually watches the race, and the other one's cooking when the race is on, and the other one's drinking when the race is on. So he doesn't really see everything that happens.
No, I saw the whole race before. I watched the race.
So Russell retired.
I watched the race before I went to work, so I wasn't drinking.
Russell retired because he had imminent engine failure. At least that's what was reported.
Okay, who came in 7th?
7th, Gasly. Pierre Gasly.
Wow, really?
Had a
the
great
Alpines
race.
were 7th and 10th? That's a good race.
I'm telling you, they had great pace.
Their engine still sucks.
All right. In 6th place, a very lonely 6th place, Carlos Sainz.
Well, he finished 6th. That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I thought he could have finished 5th. But
better than Leclerc.
Well, Leclerc didn't even race. And, he was out. And then in 5th place, Lance Stroll. Yeah, whatever. And in 4th place, with the great battle for 3rd place.
One of the drivers
of the day, definitely between himself and Fernando. It looks so... It was back to the old Checo. I mean, he was very racy. He put his car in good positions to get an overtake and to defend. It seemed like these last 10 races where he disappeared, like that was him.
I still think that Perez is going to not be in the Red Bull next year.
I think he is. I think he's going to stay.
I don't think so. I think they're going to put Ricciardo on the car. And I think Perez might retire.
In 3rd place, Fernando Alonso. We've already
goat?
talked about it. Well, the goat of granola?
No, he's the GOAT.
Go to what?
Greatest of all time.
He is not the greatest of all time,
He's
dude.
like one of the greatest drivers ever. I call him the GOAT right now because I think he's the best driver in Formula One.
Win.
What?
Win.
No.
He's better than Max?
I think so.
Better than Lewis?
I think so.
I
think he's
I don't know, man.
he's always been the same. He's very difficult. He's a very difficult driver to deal with. If you had to drive against him, you wouldn't like it. Right. He's that good. He's good though. And what he did on Sunday was like that was a GOAT-like drive.
The thing about Fernando is if he wasn't so abrasive, he would. I mean, I don't know him personally. I only met him once, and he seemed like a very nice person there. But from every report you've ever read about Fernando,
he's not a teammate.
He's not a teammate. He's hard to work with. He's very headstrong.
Because he's demanding. And
very demanding, yes.
He wants things the way he wants them because he knows that's how we should be doing it. And he needs... I think he does have a good race engineer now who he's working with where they are getting along.
I think he's actually getting along more at Aston Martin because he knows, well, one, if he didn't, this would be his last stop. Two, they want him to kind of coach and bring Stroll along and try to help him. But I don't think I don't think he's doing that. Not only is he not doing that.
I remember when Lance Stroll came into stupid Formula One, he was in the Williams, and he was crying that Felipe Massa wasn't helping him out more. And I'm like, that's not his job. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Why don't you get your daddy to buy you a coach?
Like Connor, what's his name? You know, the guy who does all the impersonations?
Yeah.
He did a great bit where he was pretending to be Lawrence Stroll, and he was two characters, right? It's Lawrence Stroll and Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
And he's like, son, I just bought you the Mercedes team.
And then what did he do? What did Lance do? Yeah, daddy, yeah, daddy, yeah, you're the best. Thank you, daddy.
That guy kills
I can win a race.
Okay, number one. The Deuce.
Deuce is Lando Norris, who's Mr. Second Place right now.
Who had a great start.
And I don't think Lando should go to Red Bull like, he was a couple years ago. He should have
went to Red Bull 3 or 4 years ago when they had a chance.
The reason why I don't think he should go is because his friendship, his bromance with Max would totally end. Oh, totally end. That'd be it. And right now they're bros. They're sitting in the Max podcast room. The cool down room.
I don't see Red Bull because there was a rumor this week that Alonso's going to Red Bull.
Yeah, that would never happen. You want to?
It would be great. It would be like, wow. It would be
the best television
baby
ever.
Jesus.
Man. I'd give your left nut for that.
I'd give my left nut for that.
It would be the best.
It would be the best because know from the second he got to Red Bull, it would be he would fracture that team like Trump did.
I quit my job and be the janitor at Red Bull just to witness,
just to be there,
just to witness the chaos that Fernando Alonso would bring.
Fernando's not going to Red Bull. Never mind. Okay, and numero
uno as per usual. Super Max.
There was he almost had to race against someone this weekend for 2 laps.
2 laps. And they were like, "Oh, Max, were you worried?" And Max was like, "Huh?
What?
Worried?"
But he's like, I was having a coffee break and I looked in my rearview mirror and there was Lando and I'm like, oh, I got to go now here.
Yeah. Let me press this button. Bye, Lando.
Bye, Lando.
But I liked what he said in the interview room. Well, not when they interview the post race.
Did you actually watch that? You watched that?
I always watch the post race. Really? You know why? Because sometimes every once in a while, Max will say some bullshit that you're like, oh, and then if Orlando's in there, he always is very surly. So I like to watch it.
Well, no, I like Lando because remember when he broke the trophy?
He broke
back, and they asked him about it, and he's like, I don't care if I broke his stupid trophy. This is not my problem. They were like talking about you're gonna have to pay $40,000 to replace the trophy. He's like, no, I'm not.
So it's in that room, it's a total bromance between Max and Lando.
They've been racing against each other for 20 years.
And somebody from the audience said, what do you think about Drive to Survive? They had asked Alonso about his pass on Schumacher all the way back then. And of course, those two were still breastfeeding. Yeah. And then Lando made a funny comment, I'm still breastfeeding, like that. It was funny. But then they asked Max about what does he think about Drive to Survive, and this is the one. I'm not the Super Max fan, but what I do like is he said, "I hate social media. It's ruined everything."
It basically has.
I'm old school. I wish there was no social media and I could give a F about Drive to Survive.
Yeah. Good answer.
And I was like, yeah, Max, great answer.
I hate Drive to Survive. It's so
what
stupid.
a good answer.
It's a fake show. Everything about it's fake. And all these people stupid Americans who don't even watch the goddamn races, rose all the ticket prices for everything. It's not going to last long, though. I guarantee you next year the ticket prices are going to be half.
Oh, Ned, I'm sitting in one of the so where I'm sitting, one of the grandstands they didn't even complete.
Oh, and
yet.
the race is going to be at like 10 o'clock at night, so you can freeze your ass off.
Yeah, I'm bringing my jacket.
Bring a jacket,
it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah, 40. It's going to be like 42 degrees in a desert. So that's cold.
It's going to be
so
cold.
I'm bringing a jacket for sure.
Bring a parka, bring gloves, bring a hat.
Well, I'm not going to bring parka, but I am going to bring a hat. And
No, a beanie.
A beanie. Yeah, keep my head warm. So I'm going to bring a beanie. Excuse me. I'm going to bring my winter jacket. Usually I don't bring much stuff.
I'd bring a fucking parka. I'd go out and get those.
Bring
those
a parka. Give me a break. Oh,
those
come
heated
on.
socks.
I'm not doing all that. But one of the grandstands didn't get built.
Oh, I know. They canceled it.
So
because they couldn't sell the tickets for it. That's why.
So what they're doing is the people, and this is what I'm upset about, because that's there's 3 grandstands where I'm at. I'm on the inside of the track, so I'm really never gonna. I'm at the end of where they're going 220 miles an hour. So
that'd be cool.
Basically, they'll be like, bam, 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 bam. Yeah. So I'll get to see that part. But the people that they canceled the grandstand on, they get to go to the other grandstand where the Spear is, where all the concerts are. So I think that's unfair because they're sitting where I'm sitting, but now they get the concerts for free and I don't. It's a conspiracy, 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 conspiracy. Bullshit!
Conspiracy. Oh yeah, and okay, what's next?
You don't care about my plight.
No.
You don't care that I don't.
Richie
get to
Rich
watch
is going to
cartoons?
the Las Vegas Grand Prix. He's bringing his wife.
My wife's going. Yes.
So he's spending a ridiculous amount of money on this thing.
And I'm trying to get a rebate on the hotel because when I bought the ticket for the hotel or the room,
You booked the room.
When I booked the room, it was $500 a night. And now they're selling the same room that I have for $200 a night. So that's 3, 6, that's 9. So I get to save about $1,300 if they give me the money back. I'm just going from Thursday to, the race. Thursday. The race is Thursday to Saturday.
The race is on Saturday.
Yeah, so Thursday to Saturday.
Are you going home on Sunday?
I'm going home Sunday. Yeah. And then.
You guys are flying though, right?
Yeah, we're flying. Yeah. And then,
Okay, well, the Las Vegas race is going to be boring. It's a fucking street circuit.
It's a street circuit with a very, very long straight.
And it's in the middle of the freaking desert, so the track's going to be hella dirty the first. I hate tracks in the desert. It makes no sense.
I think everything else will be great. The
event will be a lot of fun.
The
food.
But you know what else I don't like?
What?
Your ticket, you can only be where you're at, which doesn't make any sense.
You can't walk around or anything?
You can't, go from... That's what I've read, that I can't go from one place to another. But that doesn't make any sense because I want to go see, the other places. I want to see everything.
Well,
I'm going to go and see what happens.
Go. I would just go and whine.
Yeah. I'm good at that.
Yes, Sherman is.
Come on.
Sherman does do the crybaby thing really well.
Me, my wife's
I was
first race.
actually late today. And he only called me once.
Yeah, I came on time. I was here first.
Sherman's never been on time. He's going to be late for his own funeral. Dear God.
Dear God.
Okay, what else we got to talk about?
Dear God, please make the Las Vegas race
a race.
At least palatable.
It's got to be a race.
Please have a couple battles that I can watch in the freezing cold.
Oh, it's this Saturday, right?
It's next week. This week is Velocity out at Sears Point.
What's Velocity?
It's Lando Norris is going to be there, so I may go Saturday just to see if I can bring my son and he can see Lando.
Well, when are we going to take you idiots and teach you how to drive a race
after
car?
the Vegas race? after the Vegas race,
Might
then,
be too late because it's going to be wintertime. I was telling you all summer, we got to go. It's going to get cold.
This is your fault.
No, this is Sherman Tillman's fault.
This is 100%.
We could have went all summer long.
I don't like you using my last name, actually.
What?
On air.
You what?
It's not right. Shouldn't be using my last name on the air. I mean, people know who I am, but whatever.
You say it says it at the beginning.
Yeah,
who we
but
are.
I don't like it.
Oh God.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Anywho,
next is Las Vegas, and we
Sherman's
hope
going to have lots of pictures and videos, and they're going to be up here.
I'm going to do
when we're-
some lives. That's right. I'm going to do some lives, so follow, and I'm going to do some lives from Vegas. I'm going to show you the track. I'm going to show you all the cool parties, maybe, because my wife probably don't want to go. I don't know. We'll go to the buffet. I know that for sure.
What
and we'll
about
check
you
out
gonna
the
go to any
Spear.
show? Everyone says to go to the Beatles show.
Well, I'm going to actually check out this weekend what shows I should book.
And they have that
ahead
new
of time.
Spear place.
That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go to the Spear.
So
So anyway,
there's going to be bands. Like U2's probably going to play, you know?
yeah, but here's the shitty part. Like I said, the bands are all playing in the Heineken zone, but your ticket, if you're not in the Heineken zone, you can't go.
Oh, you can go if you pay
Stupid.
for that ticket.
You
Come
pay
on
for
now.
a ticket, $1,500 for a damn ticket. This ticket is more than any other, it's twice as much as any other damn race.
Loser. I went to the MotoGP race. It was $300 for 4 days.
Anyhow, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you or at Las Vegas. Come by, say hello if you see me.
Make sure you wear
Say
that
hello.
hideous hoodie you have.
I'm going to wear the hideous white America F1 hoodie.
That is the most ugliest thing.
All the merch, all the insignias everywhere.
You should go up. You should go there when you get there the first day. Go to the press place and see if you can get a press pass. Maybe you can go backstage.
Ah, there you go.
Do it.
I'm going to try.
America F1, baby. I want to talk to the boss.
Anyway, everyone, keep on racing. Dude.